Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Scary Saturday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And then one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. Such as today, I gave you your brief synopsis, your starring cast, director, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for where you can purchase this one. No links for a trailer or a link to watch it, just a link to purchase it. And then also, if you decide, you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of bucks my way. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is a very, very fun one. It is it's super low budget. It was made for about 50 bucks, and it shows it as the line in the credits say. Now, did they do a good job for making it for only $50? I thought they did a very fun job. I really liked it. It's very, 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 very B schlocky type of movie. It's called Death Dummy. It is came out back in 2013. It is about 19 minutes long. It's like 1856, 1858, as far as runtime. So I just put 19 minutes. It is directed by our good friend Matty Calhoun, who we should know from other films, from another good Matt's Movie Mania friend, Harry Collins. He did a couple of films with Harry. He did Silent Hill, and I believe it was Homicidal Harry, if I remember correctly. So I'm very familiar with Matty's stuff, and very excited to check out this one today. Now, what exactly is Death Dummy about? Well, it starts out with this guy who's wearing a really wild wig that's very big and poofy hair, like an afro, but not smooth and circular. Like it's very pointy, but it's very funny looking. And he's wearing a hat and a thing, and he's got a log in his hand, and he got a chainsaw in the other. Puts down the log. Boy, I'm sure I'm tired of working today. And he says it's like weird like that, and it's really funny. Takes the chainsaw back to the garage and sets it down. Goes to have himself a little breaky poo. As he's chilling there in the chair outside, the death dummy decides it's going to come alive, and it jumps down off of where it's at. Goes and picks up the chainsaw and kills our humble lumberjack. I'm just gonna call him. He wasn't a lumberjack. I'm just gonna call him that because he was cutting wood. He cuts him up. It's really cool. And then you fast forward to three friends that are embarking on a trip to film a horror movie in this tunnel, which I'm curious to know if it's the same tunnel as the one they used in Silent Hill. It looks familiar. It's really cool. It seems like a great spot to film a horror movie. Just perfect locale. But these three friends are there. They're walking up to the tunnel, and one does the classic, I'm going to stop off and take a leak line. Does that, and then the other two end up going on to the tunnel. It's not a long journey. You can see the tunnel down the street. Not in a far distance. I mean, I'm sure it might be a far distance in reality, but on film it didn't seem that way. They get there, and one of the friends, by the way, has a very sweet shotgun that he has brought along for self-defense reasons, which I don't blame him. The dummy decides it's going to get a hold of it when they set down their packs, and then it goes and kills off the guy that went to take a leak. And then eventually we have some more stuff going on with our other two people. Now their deaths are absolutely hilarious. One gets his head blowed off, and there's, you can tell that they're wearing a like a CGI mask, or green screen mask, or whatever the hell they call those things, so they can blur out his head, to make it look like he's lost his head in the thing, and you can totally see the outline of it, and it's absolutely brilliant and hilarious. I love it. I love movies that purposefully make themselves bad like this, and really try to give you an entertaining film in the long run. There's also even a person that gets shot in the stomach, and there's a big hole, gaping hole, and you can see through it. It's also done very, very cheaply, but it is very fun, and I just really adore this movie. I really wish it had a DVD or a Blu-ray release. I would definitely love to have this in my collection. I don't buy too many VHS anymore, so I probably won't be getting it through purchase, because it is only VHS through that link that I'm giving you for that. As far as onto the three things that I love my movies to me. First is audio. Audio is okay. You know, there are a couple of spots where it kind of has a little outside interference from me, like being filmed outside. You get outside noises that interfere, and some of this, there was a couple of times where the audio kind of drops out a little bit. It makes it a little hard or muffled to understand what's being said. Although I am not critiquing it in a negative fashion, because they purposefully meant to do that. And that's what I love about it. I'm going to give it a B on that end. It could have been better, but I think going the route that they went was perfect. I wouldn't want to go any other way. I think having the weird glitches in the audio, not glitches, I would say the weird interferences, I'll say that, kind of help a little bit. Then we go on to dialogue. Dialogue is pretty good. It's funny as hell in places. It's probably where the best of the entire movie lies, is in its dialogue. So I'm going to give it a B plus on that end, because the characters are very believable, and still convey their lines in a good enough fashion that you understand what they mean, and it's believable. And now on to the third thing, is editing. Matty did a good job editing this. I think it runs at a great time. It's got a nice forward momentum, keeps going steadily uphill. It never slows down. I mean, for 19 minutes, you got to keep a nice steady pace if you want to have a good film. Matty definitely pulled it off, and I'm going to give him an A on the editing, because he did some tricky stuff with editing out the head and the hole and the body. Granted, yes, they are very poorly looking, purposely poorly looking. That's still a lot of work to do. I'm sure he spent more time editing this together than he did filming. So I'm going to give him an A on the editing. So we got a B, a B plus, and an A there. And I'm on to my final score of 1 through 5. It's going to get a 3.5 out of 5. I think it is above average, and it's there's nothing bad about this movie. I hope you guys, if you get the opportunity to check it out, do yourself a favor if you like really bad movies that have a lot of fun stuff going on. Like this is one of the funnest movies I've done in a few weeks, or at least a few months. But I really enjoyed this one. So definitely run on out and check out Death Dummy from 2013, directed by Matty Calhoun. It is a pleasant masterpiece. All right, guys, love your faces. Gonna get the hell out of here. Peace.